This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Billy.
And I'm Ryn.
And before we get into these Manic Monday topics, since Will isn't here this week, I'll be doing all the intro, whatever phrases you want to call them. We're going to talk about some Among Us, some Age of Empires, and some Fire Emblem, because we got Ryn down there, and she's a good source for Fire Emblem discussion. But before we do that, tell everybody about your channel, Ryn.
Oh, I do lots of different things, anywhere from art to gameplay. And I've been streaming a lot more recently. That's like a major thing I've been doing. But yeah, that's my channel in a nutshell. I try not to keep it contained to one particular thing. I just kind of do what I like to do.
Yeah, and she tried out Dead Space, and it was quite a great stream to be a part of. So,
oh, thank you.
If you're interested in seeing Ryn play new games, go check out her streams. So,
thank you. And
then Billy, what are you doing currently, but may not be doing very long? I don't know.
Listen, man, I make content. I put it on YouTube. It's fantastic. I am making videos about games, but I'm actually working on a really big project with a couple friends and a couple other YouTubers that will go live hopefully next in fall. I think it's gonna be a while, but yeah, where we all sit down and play Dungeons and Dragons together with a homebrew that I'm making myself. But yeah, it's gonna be awesome, and everyone's gonna have beer, and it's gonna be a good time. So very excited.
Billy will be shipping the beer. Anyways,
absolutely.
Somehow. So now we're gonna get started on our topic. So the first one is, and I'm sure it doesn't surprise anybody, but Among Us is the most ripped off game of 2020. I don't think this surprises anybody, but have you guys tried any of the Among Us ripoffs?
No, but now that you're mentioning it, it sounds like a good video idea.
Go try all of them, see how bad they are.
Yeah, I mean, it really does sound like a good video idea to see if there's anybody playing them.
And then I know that the Fall Guys had quite a bit of ripoffs, but those were capitalized on right away because there was never a mobile version, I think, right? So there's a bunch of companies putting out quote unquote mobile Fall Guys.
Yeah.
Versus Among Us, which literally never had any issues with having a mobile port out. So, did you guys enjoy Among Us? Did you guys try it?
Oh yeah, I love the game. I think it's just really cute and fun, like to just play a really quick game. I play it at work all the time.
That's same here, all the time for it, man. It's so cool to play.
If these are the Among Us ripoffs, I'm confused what they're ripping off because those don't look like Among Us.
That was just Roblox. That also looks like Roblox. These are just all Roblox.
That's what it looks like to me.
I don't want to have to download Roblox.
I'm not down.
It's a great game, everybody. Come on.
There was one in there where it was like they had the lineup and they had somebody like with a finger pointing out who in the lineup was the imposter. What the heck? I can't imagine like a police lineup. Anyways, I guess these are all Roblox, but that's to be expected. Roblox has a rip-off of just about everything in there. Oh, whoa. Okay. So the next bit of news, Age of Empires 4 is finally going to release soon, and I'm super excited about this, although I'm still sad that the original company that made it, Ensemble Studios, was shuttered like over a decade ago at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you guys think? Do you guys ever play Age of Empires back in the day?
I don't think I've ever played it. The name is very familiar. I've definitely heard of the name, but I don't think I've ever played it myself.
Oh, you guys go play, please. Age of Empires 2 was my child. My brother forced me to play so much Age of Empires growing up, and while I hated him for it forever, now Age of Empires 2 is one of my favorite. I'll go back once in a while just to play the HD version, and I love it. It's fantastic. It's a really good RTS.
So I guess my best description here is when I was playing Fire Emblem, I was also playing this. This was my RTS fix versus turn-based combat. Fire Emblem, strategy RPG was my Fire Emblem fix. So if I wanted to play a military with no personalities and stuff, I play more of an Advanced Wars where just the leader has the personality. Where Age of Empires was more of the full battle, not just your space crawling and all that stuff. They actually made a Age of Empires DS game that did horribly, and it was basically Fire Emblem mixed with Age of Empires. I don't know if you've ever seen this, Billy.
No, but I'm very excited. I mean, even though it's bad, I'm still wholeheartedly hoping that there's some gem in there.
So it's basically like if you were to take Fire Emblem
Ooh.
and mix it with Age of Empires. That was what they did on the DS like forever ago.
No, that's not bad. Like if you squint real hard and like
probably
like
more.
it's not bad.
Probably
If you split
more.
real hard, it looks good.
I guess more Advance Wars than Fire Emblem because they did kind of what middle was it the Third Age Lord of the Rings, same idea with on the Game Boy Advance. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
No, but I've watched The Lord of the Rings recently, and that was fun.
Oh,
Really
you
good
did?
choice.
Did you not watch them before?
No, I didn't remember. I watched them like as a kid with my dad, but I actually
Okay.
sat there and like paid attention and watched them, and that was cool.
Yeah, this was basically a straight up rip off of Fire Emblem with Lord of the Rings characters.
Oh yeah, it's straight up as where's Legolas? He was my favorite.
Yeah, you got to pick a hero for each different battle, and if the hero died, you would have to start over. I remember getting pretty deep into this game, but then there was one level that I was too young to really understand the mechanics of the game at the time.
Mhm.
But there was one level where there was just too many orcs, and I could never get through with my hero. And it might have been Aragorn, it might have been Legolas, I don't remember, but they would just swarm him, just surround him at all sides, and there was no way out. So like,
Yeah.
I got to that point. I was like, you know what, GameStop can have this back.
And we took it with pride.
Let me go trade it in for $3.
I traded it in as part of my purchase for Path of Radiance, so I don't regret it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a good purchase. I hope you're happy with it. Freaking expensive game.
Yeah, exactly. So, Age of Empires 4 finally hitting store shelves. This was kind of a little reminisce about some ripoffs of Fire Emblem. But Age of Empires 4 is not a ripoff of Fire Emblem, and it is going to be interesting because I actually had the collector's art book from 3, and 4, 5, and 6. Like 6 was supposed to be like Halo Wars essentially. So 4, I guess they're going to completely ditch the concepts they had for 4, 5, and 6 from that art book, because Microsoft decided that wasn't marketable anymore, and they're going to kind of move backwards, I think, in the timeline for Age of Empires and explore a whole bunch of different history in this game. So it should be interesting. Now on to the probably the reason that my thumbnail is going to have Fire Emblem characters on it. There's a massive rumor floating around the internet. I don't know if everybody's seen it yet, but there's some sketchy sources claiming we're going to get another Fire Emblem Echo style game in 2021. And potentially a new Fire Emblem game in 2022. I think this could kind of be a piggyback off of our last video in regards with Ryn to what we talked about last time. Do you remember what that was?
I think we talked, in terms of this, I think we talked about at some point, like, what type of remakes they would do, like, which games they would remake. That's all I remember, I think.
So there was a rumor that there was a 3DS remake of...
oh, yeah, and that they canceled it or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Fire Emblem 6 and 7, which is the Roy and Ellawood games. And basically those got canceled because the 3DS was just too late into its life. I believe other people have covered this too, so that's not like new news. But if they were going to grab a game that's already in progress being made, that would be the one I would like to see personally on the Switch, just because I think it would be easy for new and old fans to both get into that game, whereas some of the old Kaga games might be a little more difficult for the new guys to get into.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. FE4 is like super easy.
I mean, yes and no. I agree with you, but I also disagree because there's that. Just the maps are huge. I think they'd have to kind of.
You have to have patience with FE4. But you couldn't really, like, if you're keeping the movement level about the same with Cavaliers, you couldn't really alter the maps because they have such a movement advantage with the road tiles. You just kind of have to let it be a thing. I think if they were to change anything, probably how the inventory works, because that's the most difficult part of the game.
Oh yeah.
Is managing gold, not really like the actual gameplay. It's just, I need to buy a silver sword, but I can't because Sigurd's poor, which would never happen. Sigurd's never poor, but...
Not when Ryn plays.
No. I mean, he's just too good. You send him in an arena, he finishes the whole thing.
So let's get on to this first question I have here. So I know which game you want it to be, but what game do you expect it to be? If there is an Echoes, yeah.
Well, so there's a lot of different options. Like FE6 and FE7 makes a lot of sense, only because Roy's in Smash right now, and that's what people would see him as. Also because FE6 is a Japan exclusive game. But I'm fearful that they do an FE6 and FE7 like combined remake, which wouldn't be the best because they would probably just shaft both storylines. In my, because that's what they did with Three Houses and Fates. Now, alternatively, I know there are a lot of rumors going around that the Tellius games, which is like, I don't know, like FE13 or FE14, something like that.
I think it's 11 and 12, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, something like Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn.
So there's 10 and 11 or 11 and 12. You know what? Actually, let's just.
There's too many.
Yeah. Anyways, I'll just pull up Cernus Forest and we'll get there. But you keep going. Go ahead.
There was rumors that those games might be remade, and I think optimally those games are probably should be remade the most, only because they're both so expensive, and they're, in my opinion, the most difficult games to find because they're hard to emulate on a computer, which Nintendo doesn't care about, but I do. They're hard to emulate for just the standard person who's wanting to play the game on a computer, and like Path of Radiance alone, which is the first one, you have to play Path of Radiance to get the full story, is like $250 complete right now. So in my opinion, that would be like, I don't know, best consumer friendly for people to play, or for them to remake. But yeah, I don't know. But, like FE6 and FE7 is also pretty big because they released a Lyn figure recently, which like might have been like a nod because she had like a whole new redesigned outfit or whatever.
2021 would be the no, it'd be like 18 years, right? 18 years, 2003. Yeah, that would be FE7. But what year did FE6 come out? I can't honestly remember.
It probably came out like a year or two prior to that.
Probably 02.
Yeah, or 1.
And just for the record, it's 10 and 11. Path of Radiance, Radiant Dawn is 10 and 11. Shadow Dragon's 12. We don't talk about Shadow Dragon. No.
Shadow Dragon's not bad. It's just the animation looks awful.
I have that one. We can get into that later, but I always thought that the characters that they added into the game when you would like lose one was like completely broken.
Oh wait, really? They're not supposed to be that good.
Yeah, no, I meant like the fact that you just continuously get characters cycled in when you lose them. It's like, what?
It's like you don't really get punished that much.
Exactly. So I think people that think the new game that just came to the Switch is going to be easy like Shadow Dragon might be in for a rude awakening when they find out the NES/Famicom version isn't as easy.
Yeah.
Anyways, I would agree Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn would make a lot of sense, especially since there's like nothing to change about the control scheme from the Wii version of it, especially, considering all the games that did get weird Wii controls, this one did not.
Yeah.
It would be pretty easy to translate, especially when you can do like Luigi's Mansion and make it look beautiful on the Switch and the 3DS. Take both. I think you could easily port those two games to the Switch and probably sell a lot of them.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. But I'd rather them just remaster the whole thing. Like that would just make it the best. I can so see them cheaping out and doing a port though, just of them both.
Only if they do a port, I'd be fine with it as long as they give it the Mario Mario Sunshine treatment, where they take it from 4.3 to 16.9 and actually redo the layouts. Then I'd be fine with it.
Yeah.
What about you, Billy? You got any thoughts on this?
Have you played Fire Emblem?
I played it a little bit. I'm not nearly as experienced as you guys, and I know my answer is gonna rifle Chris real bad.
If you tell me Awakening, I'm gonna
listen. I would love for Path of Radiance or Radiant Dawn to get remastered. That would be really cool. That would be super awesome. I would love for, just like a newer version of Awakening. Chris, shut up. I love and cherish that game enough to where I would love to be able to play it on a newer console. But truthfully, if I could, because you guys are like, again, you already said Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. Those are the two I honestly would love to see on the newer console for sure. Because like Ryn said, like, getting the GameCube version, I have like a giant GameCube collection, and that is still the white whale that is not in my collection right now. So I feel that wholeheartedly.
Between that and the component cable, Billy, no.
I know. Listen, one of these days I'll find it.
The component cable plus Fire Emblem, it doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, it does a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah. It's enough for me to want it. Please.
All right, let's see here. Now, if there is a new Fire Emblem game, one of the things that they were talking about in the rumor that I read that was very sketchy they said they might actually go for like a different kind of continental theme, because they've done a lot of Europe, and then in Three Houses they kind of explored some other various backgrounds and ancestries and whatnot. Supposedly they might go with the continent of Africa. I was like, what? That would be different for Fire Emblem.
Yeah, that would be I think I can think of like 4 people of color in all Fire Emblem.
Right?
Maybe 5. Yeah, that would be very different.
That would be like complete, like I'm sure they'd have to redo tons of different animations just because of the fighting styles that they would have to incorporate into the games. So like,
Yeah.
I know that's kind of far out there considering they've stuck with mostly European themes and some Asian and whatnot themes like that. What would you guys think? Like, this is obviously, like I said, a sketchy rumor. There's not a whole lot of background to it. What would you think that they would go? Would they stick with the European themes, or do you think they would take it in this different direction?
I think they'd probably stick to European, to be honest. I also don't really see it coming out at the end of 2022, especially if there's a new remake coming out in 2021. Or I hope it doesn't come out at the end of 2022, because, like, in my opinion, Three Houses was really rushed. And they took a long time developing that game. So obviously they need the time to accurately develop a very good Fire Emblem game, because they make dumb decisions like route splitting. like they did it before with Fates. They're like, let's make a route split with 3 different ways, and then they did an awful job because they created Revelations, which is, in my opinion, the worst Fire Emblem game to exist. And then they're just like, copy paste. I want to do the same thing, but try to do it better. And then they did, but they still didn't do quite as well as I would have hoped. Especially since my impression of it was so good at the very beginning. I was so happy with it.
I do not. I'll be honest with you. The only Fire Emblem game that I'm not still playing right now, because I've replayed almost every Fire Emblem game I've ever owned, is Three Houses. That's the only one that I have not gone back and like tried to keep playing. Fate. I'm even still playing Fates, believe it or not.
Like, the monastery portion of it's so like annoying in the very beginning of the game. And then you just have like routes like Edelgard's route, which is technically there's 4 route splits in that game. But you have routes like Edelgard's route, which she was advertised to be pretty much the main character, but is not the main character really, and has probably the worst route in terms of number of chapters and number of replayed chapters. That's another thing. They have so many reused assets in that game. It's sad. That game disappointed me. It's okay though.
So what I will say about that is I think they make you choose your route too early in Three Houses. I thought that was kind of a mistake, making you choose, like, because like all I saw was 2 dudes and a girl, and they're like, pick your route, and I'm like,
I want the girl.
I don't know. Like, okay.
No, I agree. I think you should go through the entire monastery, and it's up to the point where a spoiler happens. That's when you should choose who you go to.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think as the professor, like, you shouldn't have to align with one particular group yet. You know, it's like you're gonna see all the students. There's no reason why you should be choosing your faction right away, right out the gate.
Well, in Three Houses, the excuse is that one professor is like the head of the household for each. It's kind of like in Harry Potter, where like you have a head of house for each house.
Ravenclaw.
Yeah, and then I don't remember, like, it's the plant lady for that one, or it's she's either the Ravenclaw one or or Hufflepuff. But then you have like Severus Snape for Slytherin, right?
Yep.
That's kind of like the theory, is that whoever you like, you're the head of house or whatever.
Gryffindor. No, I'm sorry. I can't stop after we start the Harry Potter stuff. I guess the last question in regards to this, though, like, do you guys think there's any chance the Advanced Wars series makes an appearance on the Switch?
It'd be cool to see.
I think it'd be cool to see. I think they can make it like a port, but I don't really see them making a brand new game, considering I don't think, was there a 3DS release of Advanced Wars?
You know what? That's a good question. I actually don't know the answer to that.
I don't think there was. I think there was a DS release, but I don't think there was a 3DS release. I don't know for sure, but I can't think of it right now.
Let me see. Days of Ryn.
Oh, there we go. There was.
Let's see what it is.
I can see them definitely porting one over, but I can't really
Oh, no, it was a DS title they made available via the eShop.
Yeah, see, that's what I expect them to do.
That would be kind of lame, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I agree. Like, it's either that or they'll wait until like the anniversary of Advance Wars to do something.
or they'll just do what they did with the original Fire Emblem and just like, here you go, English translated OG Famicom Wars.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why? All right. I guess we didn't really answer the question for one last thing here. I know we've said which. Man, Skype is glitching out today, guys. I am sorry. Hold on a second. You're not in the Matrix, Ryn.
Me
I
too.
promise.
That's okay.
Well, it's like every once in a while I get these like glitches. We'll see if we can sort it out after this. I know we already said which game we'd like it to be. Do we have any guesses as to which game it actually will be?
Well, like I said, I think it's either going to be Tellius or
Alib?
FE6, yeah, or Alib. Like that just makes sense. I'm leaning more towards Alib just because Roy's in Smash and the Lin figure came out, and it makes. I mean, they both really make sense, right?
They do.
I think Alib, but I don't know whether they'll do FE6 and FE7. Because I think if they do Alib, they'd have to do like a combined remake, because I don't foresee them like just doing one Echoes without planning on doing the other, if that makes sense.
Oh no, that totally makes sense. What about you, Billy? Is there a reason why you wouldn't expect one of those two to be it?
I mean, again, Ryn puts up a really good point. Marketing wise, like it's like it literally is probably the perfect decision to make. I mean, yeah, it's tough because like there are a lot of choices to pick from, obviously, but a lot of the ones that they're drawing a lot of their characters from and stuff like that are newer and don't really need the remake. And some of the ones that like are getting the Smash Brothers treatment still haven't really had the chance to shine on newer consoles for newer fans. So I'm with wholeheartedly with the idea that it would be Roy's game to be getting something.
When they did this announcement trailer, I honest to God thought when they had Roy kill Marth, like, oh, it's gonna be FE6 remake. that was my actual thought process of FE6. And then I see this and I'm like, oh, it's Marth. Oh, okay. We're getting that one again. Yeah, and that's probably why there's almost 5,000 downvotes on a Nintendo video reveal, which is like not very common.
I was pretty happy with it. I think this is like, I can't remember whether it's the 32nd or the 30th anniversary. Like this is pretty lame for like a big 3-0 anniversary in my opinion.
30th. It's the 30th.
Yeah.
But it's also like 6 months after the 30th, so it's like not even in the right time frame.
Yeah, so I was like, when I saw this, like, I was really happy, to be honest, because I was like, oh yeah, I love Fire Emblem, but that's just me being biased too.
No, I loved it too. I was just mad they didn't do a physical cart. Like, why put a big ado?
The clear version. What are you talking about?
I mean, but why take all this time, put together this really nice like fan package for Fire Emblem fans, and then include a DLC for the game? I'm like, I want the physical cart, so I boycotted that and didn't buy it. I just got the DLC version.
I bought it.
I did too.
I bought it. I was like super psyched about it. I couldn't pass it up.
I thought it was cool. I can't support these download only collector's editions. I'm like, ah.
I'm more mad that it's not going to be on the eStore past the 31st. That's what I would be more mad about.
Really? Wait, is that a thing too?
Well, yeah. So that game, and then I don't know some other games. I can't remember what they are.
The Mario ones for sure, like Mario 35 and
yeah. Like
the 3D All Stars.
There's no reason not to at least keep them up on the eShop, because after like Nintendo sends games, like physical copies of games, they're no longer making money from like at least smaller retailers. Like that's how it works at my store. Like once we buy the games, that's our games, we make the money, like however much the difference is from however much we upsell it. So I don't understand why they wouldn't like keep it up open to make money, like unless like their goal is to in my opinion, their goal is to like make this like exclusive purchase. Like when you have things like that, it makes people want to buy them sooner and faster because they think they're getting like an exclusivity kind of thing.
See, I almost regret
I need to buy it now or I won't get it.
I almost regret buying 3D All Stars. Honestly, I don't think that that port was up to snuff for what it is.
Oh, I loved it, but I can understand how you feel about it too. Like I saw a lot of people complain about it.
Mainly just the black bars on the side of 64 is just unacceptable in 2020. Like they could have easily given it this Mario Sunshine treatment.
I think they should have just stuck to one port instead of doing all three. or like timed out their ports at least, because then they would have been able to like just spend more time on it instead of like, yeah. I don't know, Nintendo's making like weird decisions lately.
You want to see something that'll make you just angry that Nintendo didn't do this?
Yeah.
Check this out. That is what Mario could have looked like in a Super Mario 64 remake.
Oh, the motion blur. Like, that's the thing though, right? It wasn't a remake, it was a port. So of course it looks the same. And like, I don't even think, was it a port of the original or was it a port of the DS version? I don't know.
It was the original because Will was mad it wasn't the DS version since that included a whole bunch of extra stuff to it.
And like, it included more characters, I'm pretty sure.
It also had like multiplayer, I think. I don't recall.
Well, that's kind of...
Yeah.
But yeah, it had multiple characters. It had bonus unlockables. Yeah, there's a lot of extra stuff the DS version had. So Will didn't buy it particularly because of that reason. He's like, I want the DS version. I was like, it's like worse resolution. It was made for dual screens. It ain't gonna happen, Will.
I don't know. Like, I think, well, see, that's again, like, it could have happened if they just spent their time just remaking that one or porting that one, and then they would have been able to do it.
Yeah.
But no, they were just like, let's get these 3 games that everybody loves, and then most people bought it for probably for Sunshine and Galaxy.
Probably.
I'm sorry, dude. Sunshine all the way. Like
Yes.
God, I totally bought it for Sunshine.
Sunshine, in my opinion, is worth it. I think they should have just made a Sunshine port instead of like doing the whole 3D, like 3 games or whatever.
See, but you know what is coming though is the Zelda 35, and that's probably gonna have Wind Waker HD, Twilight Princess HD, and Skyward Sword.
Yeah, so I'm like so torn about that, right? Because I'm like, that'll be like the 5th time I buy Wind Waker or something. Or, like,
Same.
What I really think it's gonna do is I think it's gonna be Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, and then Wind Waker. Would be my top 3 guesses to put on the Switch.
It could end up being that Skyward Sword is its own thing, honestly.
Which would be better in my opinion.
Because that one deserves the remake treatment, I think. Just because the Wii was such an underpowered console to have that big of a game in it.
And I think it needs to, like, the motion controls really need to be worked on with that game.
Oh no, can you imagine if they just did a port and did the motion controls?
Just the same motion controls. No, that's what they should do. They should do a Twilight Princess Wii version port. That way when you go into battle, you just do this and press A.
That would be silly. That would be so silly. But I wonder how many battles they'd have to rework to make Skyward Sword work without the motion controls.
Yeah, see, like, they could probably do it. They just need to spend time on it.
Right.
That's why I don't think Skyward Sword would be a part of it. But again, I'm fully prepared to pay another like $60 to buy a game that I already have 4 copies of.
See, the last time they did something like that, it was Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition on the GameCube, and it had Zelda 1, Zelda 2, Ocarina of Time, and Majora's Mask.
And like a Wind Waker, like,
it was a
demo.
20-minute demo, yeah. Like you could get as far as you could get in whatever part of it was. Like they had like 3 different spots. I think they started you at. I can't remember. I have the disc over in my shelf. I could whip it out and see what it is, but I don't remember. I think there's like 3 different spots you could start at. But that was pretty cool in my opinion, because I actually at the time that came out had never even played the OG Zelda game. So I got to experience it on the GameCube and the same resolution it was originally in on a CRT, because that's what all we had when the GameCube came out.
No, see, that's what they'll do. They'll just port over the collection from the GameCube and include the Wind Waker demo.
There you go.
They won't even take that out. It'll just be a straight port.
That would be amazing and horrible at the same time.
When you put the cartridge in, like a little screen pops up and says, "Please play with a GameCube controller."
They do need to have GameCube support if they're gonna port the GameCube games. I think that would be cool.
Oh yeah.
But the reason they won't I don't think they'll do Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, because they've already done those on 3DS and it was so recent. And then on top of that, like, I feel like Majora's Mask still doesn't sell as well as it could, despite it being,
I agree.
Like, in my opinion, the far deeper of the 2 stories. But that's just me.
A lot of the fan base hates Majora's Mask is a big thing, and I think honestly it's because they're it's Majora's Mask is a harder game than Ocarina of Time, and I think a lot of people are just like, I don't know, they have just this like nostalgia boner for Ocarina of Time specifically.
I absolutely love Majora's Mask. It's between that one, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess is for my favorite Zelda game. Those are my three favorites. Breath of the Wild's not even close to the top for me.
No, yeah, Breath of the Wild was it's a overhyped game, to be honest.
Billy's over there like slowly firing up a rage. No.
Dude, Breath of the I'm not gonna get into Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild is a game. It's an RPG. It's a Zelda skinned RPG. That's what it is. I hate it.
I think it's a good game. I don't think it should have won Game of the Year though. Like, I don't think it's particularly innovative, and I feel bad, but I think it's kind of entertaining the amount of games that are just copying it now.
Yeah, it's true. It's rough because like Breath of the Wild, it sucks because like it kind of influenced the direction of a lot of the games coming out now too, and it's like it's a fun concept, and it's really cool that they want to start like not open world, but like making it more of a full-fledged RPG out of the game. But I felt like Legend of Zelda didn't really need to take that route. I don't know.
I just wish the dungeons were different. I don't mind the whole like open world thing. There should be more towns, because I think the whole like after I visit the two like main towns in the very beginning, I kind of get bored with the whole open world scene because it's just the same thing over and over again. So there should have been more towns, and the dungeons should have been like actual dungeons, the divine beasts or whatever. They shouldn't have been like, oh, you get part 1 of dungeon A way over here for no reason at all. Here you go. Here's an orb that you can save up to get stuff. Okay.
I would have loved to see if Zelda would have taken more of like a Witcher approach to the game, where they would have been somewhere in between Zelda and The Witcher, where you still get like the items and the dungeons and the puzzles and all that fun stuff, but there's more towns like in The Witcher, and you get the quests.
Yeah, like see, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
Like, but no.
It's just too empty for me. Like, I feel like I'm just walking through wide open emptiness.
Mm-hmm.
I think more callbacks to the OG games would have been cool, especially since that one's supposed to be like the center of them all. Like, they're all supposed to combine into that one game.
See, I think that Oceanhorn 2 does a better job of innovating Zelda than Breath of the Wild did.
Like, and then so this game, which as soon as you booted it up, I was like, oh, this is just Breath of the Wild. This
but
game, and then you have, but it's not. And then you have like Genshin Impact, which you can tell has either like it's heavily influenced Breath of the Wild. And then you have Immortal Phoenix Rising, which came out really recently. Which if you even like just looking at animations, Zelda, even if you just look at animation by animation, it's like very, very clearly influenced by games like Breath of the Wild.
Oh, this game's not even hiding. They straight up say we're inspired by Zelda, and they were actually the first. They actually put their first video for Oceanhorn 2 out before Breath of the Wild was even a thing. Let me see, Oceanhorn 2 reveal, I want to say, was like 2016.
The character just looks like a Wind Waker Link mixed with Twilight Princess Link at the very beginning of Twilight Princess.
Yeah, I mean, if you Oceanhorn 1, you'll see it's a much more of a callback to OG Zelda. Oceanhorn, like 2011? Yeah. Yeah, see, this is the original Oceanhorn. This is 2016, but this is the art style from the original Oceanhorn. They went from a top-down isometric to a full-blown 3D.
Yeah.
And I think I'm wrong, though. I think Breath of the Wild was out before Oceanhorn 2 was revealed. But they were working on it well before Breath of the Wild came out. Because this game has been ported to like everything. The Vita, the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and like you name it, it's probably on that console, except the Wii U.
No, it's Wind Waker.
Yeah, basically it's Wind Waker, but it's like
my favorite Zelda game.
You would probably enjoy this. It's like a good 20-hour like Zelda light, I'll call it.
Yeah.
And it's not expensive. It's like a $10 game.
Okay, cool.
Let me see here. So now that we've completely derailed into Zelda, is there anything else Zelda we should talk about?
I have said my piece about Breath of the Wild.
Has anybody tried Calamity yet?
I tried Calamity. I like R2D2. That's fun.
Yeah.
I saw him and I was like, this is just R2D2. What is this? What are you doing in the game? And it's even worse that he like time travels or whatever.
Let me see if this is in here. Hold on. I want to see if you can. I don't want to spoilers, I guess. I don't know. I haven't seen this
Even
yet.
even the name, like even the sounds the little egg thing makes sounds very like R2D2.
Yeah.
So weird.
really
Oh,
does.
oh, is it like a thing that travels around with him? I haven't actually played or watched any footage of this game yet.
The
It's
story's
like
really
a-
interesting.
Yeah, if you like, I wouldn't say it's a spoiler, like bringing like R2D2 up, only because he's like, yeah, see, he's right behind it. You can. hardly
Oh
see
my
him.
gosh, I just saw him. I saw like a glimpse of him. Yeah, okay,
And
all right.
if you see him in cutscenes, he like makes like ooh like noises. And it like yeah, he's more like Zelda's companion, I guess, because he's like obsessed with her.
It's Navi, but it's R2D2.
Yeah, basically, like it's he kind of like senses danger, I guess, or something. I don't know. I haven't really played the game much. I played the demo, and that was it.
Do you know I've actually gotten to the closest thing to a real life experience of Navi, and I'll finish this video here. Having a toddler is basically having Navi. They walk around.
Yeah, no,
Hey,
definitely.
listen.
I've had seven. I've had eight brothers and sisters, and man, they will point out the most interesting and very basic stuff to you.
Yeah, or like my son.
See, there he
Things
is.
are happening. Oh, there he is. I see him. Yeah, the egg.
Yeah, he's like a little spider kind of thing.
I actually haven't bought Breath of the Wild on the Switch yet. I just have it on the Wii U, so I don't know. I'll
Oh, I
think
have
about
it on the Switch.
All right. Well, unless you guys have anything else you want to say, probably no Advance Wars in 2022 or on the Switch at all, unless it's a port. I'm just summarizing here real quick. The new Fire Emblem game probably shouldn't come out in 2022. I think we're all in agreement on that, even if it is slated to come out then, just because we want to see the R&D go into it and make it a great game. And then most likely games to come to the Switch on the Fire Emblem games would probably be either the Tellius games from the GameCube and the Wii, because there's like no easy way to play those games, or it'll be 6 and 7 because 6 never got translated, and 7 is clearly one of the ones people have a lot of nostalgia for, just because it was the first one to come west between
Yeah.
Roy and Elwood. All right, as always, I'm Chris,
I'm Billy.
And I'm Ryn.
and we will see you guys on the next CHRILLCAST without Will.